Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and this video is going to be very quick because I am still getting ready to leave in a very short amount of time, so I don't have a lot of time to talk about this. So let's just get right into it. The Final Fantasy V banner. Is it any good? Should you pull on it? What is that thing growing on your neck? I don't know. You should probably go see a doctor. Anyway, let's talk about the Final Fantasy V banner. First of all, starting with a 3-star. Not exciting. TMR is only exciting for potentially new people who need attack up materia. Other than that, I don't think there's really much to talk about with this one. He's your 3-star. 4-star, Wind Element Sword is kind of interesting. 125 attack is less interesting. And other than that, the unit, while having a cool sprite, which you should definitely go check out, the data's on the Reddit. Other than that, not really much else to talk about with her. I think she's perfectly fine, you know, for a 4-star, but we live in a 7-star meta, so TMR only. Next up is Lana. Well, hello, Lana. Lana is particularly strong. Her TMR gives 50% spirit, as well as 100% modifier to basically all the cure, healing spells, and regen. Her Super Trust Mastery, the staff that gives Dispelga, as well as a ton of spirit, and the light element, we've already talked about this, it's just insane. Looking at Lana's kit, there is some very interesting stuff. Limit Burst, 79% HP recovery for herself. AoE removes all debuffs in terms of attack, defense, magic, and spirit, and AoE auto-revive 100% HP. Not exactly the greatest Limit Burst. I would still put Aerith's Limit Burst much better. Now, interestingly, she does get abilities from beating Neo X Death. One, a cooldown ability that gives a 200% boost to Spirit for 3 turns AoE and 30% damage mitigation, 8-turn cooldown available turn 1. And her other passive gives her some fire, ice, and lightning resistance, and casts a permanent 120% Spirit buff at the start of battle, but a 20% MP cost reduction. That's pretty interesting, but maybe, I don't know. If it's like Aerith, then running out of MP is pretty unlikely. Anyway, she has Entrust in her kit. She has lots of AoE heals for HP, MP. They also give Limit Burst, Cure Status, Ailments. She has Single Target, Remove Stop, and Charm, and any debuff or attack, defense, magic debuffs. She gains Fire and Water resistance for multi-turns while still healing, 100% status resistance while still healing, Stop and Charm resistance while still, and Break resistance while still healing. MP. She can revive as well as self-give a auto-revive, I guess? I'm not really sure. That ability doesn't seem listed right. And in her 7-star, she has multiple cooldowns. Some of the interesting ones are the ones that give herself an HP recovery and a 200% magic boost on other units for multiple turns, as well as a big heal for HP, MP, and Limit Burst fill on the entire party, which is super nice. And an AoE, fill 30 Limit Burst crystals on everyone except the casters, but it costs her her own Limit Burst, basically. So it's, you know, it's pretty nice. Fill 30 Limit Burst crystals is pretty nice. It is on a 10-turn cooldown, available turn 1. Then looking at the rest of her kit, she just gets extra bonuses for all of her white magic. She can avoid a fatal attack when her, or she gets an HP boost when her HP falls below 21% for 1 turn, which is kind of an interesting thing to give. She has a 30% chance to counter things with Limit Burst fill rate, or Limit Burst crystals per turn, 5% MP, extra Limit Burst filling. But interestingly enough, she not only has double casting of her abilities, she has triple casting of white magic. She has Re-Raise, she has Dispelga, she has a lot of different white magics, and her white magics are boosted. So I think her kit is pretty damn strong. In her 7-star, equipping her own TMR, which her own TMR is fucking great, gives her stop resistance and a 20% chance to counter with an AoE heal, either physical or magical. And she has a recovery items effect up plus 100%, which is kind of interesting too. Long story short, what do I think of Lana? Tippity top tier healer. Definitely in, you know, up there with Santa Rosalia and Aerith. Easily better than a ton of other healers in the game. Very, very strong TMR and super TMR as well. Is she better than Aerith? Probably not. Aerith is probably still a little bit better because her kit is just a little more flexible, as well as having a better limit burst and a few other things, but Lana definitely puts the competition up there. And to be fair, Lana will be stronger in the Neo X-Death trial, so it is something to be considered about, but yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed to get her at all. Lana is pretty fucking awesome and definitely in the top tier mage spot. Congratulations, girl. You got out of the 3-star base and became much better. But then there is Bart's, and holy shit do we have to talk about Bart's. First of all, his TMR is a 40 attack accessory, 2 limit burst crystals per turn, and 50% attack when dual wielding. It's Martial Glove for true dual wield. Super Trust Mastery is 167 attack Wind Element Sword. Pretty damn strong, and has the Wind Element on it too. Not super exciting. It's not like CG Lightning Super TMR last month. This is still much better. Pots and passive-wise, he can reach a pretty damn high amount of attack, which is good, because in his kit is pretty insane. We'll start, though, with a Limit Burst. All the legendary swords, and for that we should probably just click over to here because we're going to do this. So his Limit Burst is an AoE one-hit, 2,170% physical attack on the next turn. Gives himself anywhere to 1 to 36, basically either 1 or a full Limit Burst. Gives modifiers to a whole bunch of his attacks for multiple turns. So his Limit Burst is just pretty damn strong. It is a single hit though, so it's just basically a lot of damage all at once. Pretty cool. By the way, this video was provided by Nazda. You should all go give him a follow because Nazda is a pretty damn cool guy. Assuming that Nazda is a guy. Maybe I got in trouble there. Doesn't really matter. Nazda is a pretty cool entity. There we go. Much better. Now, let's go back and talk about the rest of Bart's kit. And for that, music's back. Now, in his kit, Bart has a lot of chaining abilities, as well as abilities that will do certain things. He actually has a mix of both support as well as just general abilities that help, and he does get a cooldown ability that gives him permanent modifiers to his abilities for beating Neo X-Death, which is insane. That is something we need to talk about. But he can add Wind Element, he can recover to himself, as well as do some regeneration for multiple party members. Wind is definitely his element, which is totally fine because he has some stacking damage in an AoE 16 hitter that adds 50% damage for that can be stacked a total of 16 times, which is not as bad as it sounds. He has a debuff ability that also removes all status effects first from the enemy, and debuffs defense and spirit, which is pretty nice. He has Painting the Sword, which if you've added the Wind Element, this is the thing that goes with the Wind Element. He can debuff 120% for 3 turns to the Wind Element. Yeah, there's the big Wind debuff. Put him with CG Sid. I wonder how much damage they can truly do. He has cooldown abilities that give Wind and Earth resistance and Wind to his attacks. The resistance is AoE and debuffs Wind AoE. He has a magical sword attack that does a lot of damage that gives some modifiers for some of his other abilities. That's on a 4-turn cooldown, available turn 4. But the big thing is his job level up, and this comes into his 6-star. Job level up 2 then leads to job level up 3, which leads to master. And each of these abilities, interestingly enough, adds permanent buffs to Bart's. Job level 3 adds 400% damage modifier to basically all of his damage abilities, and Job Master Plus gives a permanent 200% stat boost to Bart's. That's insane. Permanent 200% buff that cannot be dispelled. Holy shit. I'm interested if him dying resets his stats or not, but if it doesn't, holy crap, Bart's just jumped probably into the #1 spot in terms of just physical damage units because of that. He also has a counter that gives evade too, so this is just insane. But yeah, and then it gives a bigger modifier to his attack abilities too. So just like Dissidia, the more you use his abilities, the more time you spend working to master the job system, the better he becomes. Also, he does have a blue magic ability too, I think, somewhere in here. Thought I saw that. Yeah, blue magic, white wind. We got our first blue magic ability. That's pretty cool. And it's an AoE heal. Pretty nice. Other than that, he has natural dual wield. He has 100% true dual wield in his kit, so having Lightning's TMR, you'll need it to buff him a little bit. He has extra limit burst damage in his kit. He has wind resistance. He has MP and HP recovery per turn, sleep and confuse resistance, higher limit burst rate, the chain modifier boost, 50% attack when equipped with a sword, natural dual wield or double casting of some of his abilities just to give him flexibility since he's dual wield. A permanent 100% limit burst gauge fill rate at the start of battle. Extra attack, extra modifiers. Yeah, Bart's is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insanely powerful. There's just really not much to talk about. Bart's is a unit that starts off slow, but probably will outdamage every unit in the game currently just because of his permanent buffs. It cannot be said how important it is because sometimes your buffers just die and rebuffing them or, you know, getting dispelled is a pain in trials. Well, here it is, permanent buffs. You don't have to worry about it anymore. This could potentially also remove the need of a buffer period in your party. So needless to say, I am very, very interested in this. Bart's is just a very, very, very strong unit with a good, you know, just base TMR. I think getting your hands on this guy is just insanely good, which kind of sucks because the banner, as we have discussed, is fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. But yes, both Light Warrior Bart's and Light Warrior Lana are incredibly powerful. Neo X Death Fight, if you beat it, does grant extra abilities to Kryl, or New Kryl, New X Death, New Galoof, as well as Gilgamesh and the 3-star base units too, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that it just gives a lot of abilities, and I won't list them all off here. If you want to see them, check it out on the Reddit under the JP Maintenance Info thing. There's also one other thing. There were some tickets that appeared in the data that seemed to be for Super Trust Mastery. No idea what these things are yet. Probably have something to do with FanFester or an upcoming event, but it is something to note that we might have Super TMR rules coming to the game in a different way very shortly. But yeah, if you can, maybe just UOCing Bart's is an absolutely awesome thing. UOCing Lana if you don't have Aerith. If you already have Aerith, you can probably get by without Lana. If you're a fan of Lana, good news, she's absolutely incredible. If you're a fan of Bart's, good news, he's absolutely bonkers. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you next time. Till then.